Our planet is warming. We see it in the melting glaciers, the rising sea levels, and the more frequent extreme weather events. But there is another consequence of this warming trend that is often overlooked: its impact on our health, specifically how it might be making us age faster. For decades, scientists have warned about the dangers of climate change. We know that heat waves can be deadly, especially for the elderly and those with pre-existing health conditions. Now, new research suggests that prolonged exposure to extreme heat could have long-term consequences, accelerating the aging process at a cellular level. This isn't just about feeling hotter, it's about our bodies wearing down faster. Imagine the wear and tear on a car engine that's constantly overheating. Similarly, chronic heat stress can damage our cells and tissues, leading to faster aging and an increased risk of age-related diseases. We often think of aging as a linear process, marked by the passage of time. However, scientists now understand that aging is a more complex phenomenon, influenced by both genetic and environmental factors. This is where the concept of biological age comes in. Unlike chronological age, which simply measures how many years we've lived, biological age reflects the true state of our cells and tissues. It's a measure of how well our bodies are functioning and how susceptible we are to age-related diseases. One way scientists measure biological age is by looking at epigenetic changes. These are modifications to our DNA that influence how our genes are expressed, and they can be accelerated by environmental factors like chronic stress and pollution. A recent study published in Science Advances has provided compelling evidence linking chronic heat exposure to faster biological aging. The researchers analyzed blood samples from over 3,600 adults across the United States, comparing them with heat index data, a measure of how hot it feels when relative humidity is factored in with air temperature, from 2010 to 2016. The results were striking. The study found that people living in areas with a heat index of 90 degrees Fahrenheit or higher for half the year experienced up to 14 months of additional biological aging compared to those in areas with fewer than 10 such days annually. That's almost a year and a half of accelerated aging simply due to prolonged heat exposure. To put this into perspective, the researchers noted that the impact of chronic heat on biological age was comparable to that of smoking, a known risk factor for accelerated aging and a range of health problems. This finding underscores the significant and potentially irreversible damage that prolonged heat exposure can inflict on our bodies. The findings of this study are a wake-up call. As global temperatures continue to rise, we can expect to see a surge in heat-related illnesses and an acceleration of age-related health problems. This means we need to act now to mitigate climate change and adapt to a hotter world. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions through a transition to renewable energy sources and sustainable practices is crucial. However, we also need to implement adaptation strategies to protect vulnerable populations from the health impacts of extreme heat. This includes expanding access to cooling centers, planting trees in urban areas to reduce the urban heat island effect, and designing buildings with better ventilation and insulation. This is not just an environmental issue, it's a public health crisis in the making. By understanding the link between heat exposure and accelerated aging, we can start taking the necessary steps to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and future generations from the silent but deadly consequences of a warming world.